This review is of Mercy. The story starts out at a hospital, and then there's scenes with the Irish mob. It goes back and forth. But, between the Irish mob scenes and the hospital scenes in which there is this highly trained combat medic who is now a top surgeon at a local hospital that's understaffed. It kind of gives you a lot of the background of the story. So we understand she and her husband were both stationed overseas. She was a combat medic or doctor, probably doctor, and he was a soldier. He was killed by a bomb. She gets out. Somebody, I assume her senior officer, brings her into that hospital, treats her really nicely. Really great guy. So this movie focuses on her. Her name is Leah Gibson. But surprisingly, and totally coincidental, I didn't do it on purpose. I chose this movie before I saw Disquiet. This movie also has Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. But whereas in Disquiet, John was the protagonist, in this movie he's the main antagonist. He plays the son of the leader of this Irish gang. And that's the leader of the gang is called. His name is John Voight. If you've not heard of John Voight, he's a very famous actor, but he's sometimes referred to as the shillelagh, which is a cudgel that doubles as well. Let me put it to you this way: have you ever seen the walking stick that a leprechaun has? That's a shillelagh, and they use it as a club in Ireland. It's a very sturdy piece of wood. So, anyways, things quickly become plain as to who does what. They don't leave any room for mystery here. So she's there. She's got her son with her. Her son is waiting in the waiting room for her. John Voight comes in with his crew. So John's got his crew, and then his son Sean has got his crew. And that crew... Okay, so first of all, Sean shoots his younger brother. Because he wants the gang. He wants to be in control of the gang. And he's willing to kill his little brother, who has left the gang and become a lawyer, and has been arrested by the police because they're trying to get him to turn on his family, and he won't turn. So as he's being transported away from the FBI station, they ambush them. All but one of the FBI guys gets hit. And one of them is severely injured. The other one is fine and manages to scare off the mobsters. So he manages to take his prisoner, the younger brother. I forgot his name. To the hospital along with his partner, who has a serious gunshot wound but is alive. And at the hospital, she's about to leave, but then this comes in, and she knows they're short-staffed and that they're going to need help. So she stays. She stabilizes one. Her boss stabilizes the other. They're both okay. Then Sean calls his dad, the shillelagh, and says, "Dad, Sean's been shot." And he blames it. He puts the blame on somebody else. So, of course, the dad loves his sons. And he's very, very anxious about his boy. So he says, go to the hospital. Don't do anything. Wait for me there. And it's kind of weird because he's very, very stern toward his son. And you discover that his son has a history of screwing up. Of being very trigger happy and very, very violent and short-sighted. I guess you could say that he's most likely a psychopath, and he kind of fears his dad, but he's smart enough to know that he should wait for the right moment. So they're standing outside. The security guard comes outside and he starts asking them what they're doing. And one of them says, "Oh, my wife's inside giving birth." And one of the other guys is getting kind of aggressive. And Sean says, "Shut up." And this is like the guy who wants to be Sean. So he's very aggressive. He's very pumped up and ready to do stupid things. And that sets off the alarms for the security guard, who goes in and he's talking to this reception. He's about to call the police to have them check the license plate number of their car, when they all come in with guns and they clock him a really good one, and the young guy who wants to be just like Sean, he sees that the receptionist behind the desk is reaching for the emergency button on the wall, and he says don't, and then before she can stop, he shoots her in the head. Bam, right behind, right here. And everyone's like, "What did you do?" And so the shillelagh, John Voight, he's so pissed off at that kid because he had explicitly told them, "Don't do anything." He takes him into a hallway and he cuts off his ear to teach him a lesson. And the kid, being one of those kind of people, instead of saying, "Wow, yeah, I really screwed up that time," he's angry at the old man, but he won't do anything because that's the boss. And even though he knows that Sean wants to get rid of his father and take over the business, he's not going to do that stupid of a move without Sean's say-so. So there is a limit to how stupid he'll be. But it's not the only stupid thing he does. He's just too full of testosterone and not enough brains. And Sean isn't much better. So, again, at that point, the cat's out of the bag. Because John and his men were just like pretending to be family, which, John is, but the others aren't. And they're waiting to get an opportunity to see. And John Voight, he meets Leah Gibson's character, the doctor, and he says, "Hey, you know where my son is? I'm trying to see him." And she said, "Well, I'm out. We just stabilized him, and he's fine. Don't worry." "Well, can you get somebody to let me see him?" And she said, "I'll talk to the head doctor and make sure that you get to see your boy." So she goes and walks off, leaves her son in there. That's when the other guys come in after seeing the security guard, looking suspicious, talking suspicious, and the woman gets shot. John cuts off the ear. Everybody is crowded into the waiting room, which is a big waiting room, so it's not a problem. And they're all freaked out. Now, the kid was not in the waiting room when this happened. For some reason, even though his mom said, "Wait in the waiting room," he had wandered off with his brand new soccer ball that he'd given him for his birthday, which was the next day. So she goes off. Before she goes to find the head doctor, she goes off to find her son. So she takes him, and they're in the staff room. She's getting changed out of her doctor's clothes into street clothes because she's going to take him out for dinner and she's taking him to some kind of a sporting event. And they're all pumped up, right? And so then suddenly they hear a gunshot, which, that's the woman getting killed. So she tells him to hide in her locker, which is a big locker. Got lots of space. So she hides in the locker, or she has him hide in the locker. She says, "Don't move, stay here. I'll come and get you when things are okay." And so he's hiding there. He gets found eventually, but it takes a while. So she's like, "Okay, this is not good." And when Sean puts a bomb on the head doctor, her friend from the military, sends him outside with that bomb on him, and explodes it as a demonstration of his commitment to violence to get what he wants, she goes into overgear. Now, she's already taken out, I believe at that point, she'd already taken out one guy. She met him by accident. He attacked her. She defended herself. He's dead. She goes after guy after guy after guy and takes out most of the crew. And, yeah, so it's, she's highly trained because before she was a doctor or a medic or whatever it was, she was a soldier. She was special ops or something like that. So she was very, very dangerous. They don't find that out for quite some time. They do find out about when they capture the boy. There's a picture of her with her husband and her son, and John Voight already knew that this was her son. So he gets on the walkie-talkie. Hey, you want your son back? I want my son back. So let's trade. And so things just keep on going from bad to worse. But I'm not going to spoil the end for you. Let's just say that people die needlessly. Sean is a horrible, horrible human being. And yeah. So is this a riveting movie? No, they didn't pull it off. I mean, I guess for some people it would be a riveting movie. But for me, it wasn't. Was it a good movie? Sure. But it was not. As with Disquiet, where there were moments where different decisions could have been made, like when they knew that Sean was the one who tried to kill his younger brother, they had the opportunity. She had the opportunity, that is, with the walkie-talkie she got from the first guy she killed, to let him know, hey, Sean is the one who shot your other son. But she doesn't say that, and that's really aggravating to me. When you've got important information like that could really tip the tables, and you don't say anything at all to the guy who's in charge. Now, maybe she's thinking, oh, he's just a nice old man. He has nothing to do with this. But the conversation she's having with him should make it clear that he's the boss. Because she's not talking to Sean. She's talking to him. So, yeah. So there are moments like that where they screw things up. But, I guess as far as I'm concerned, I'll give this movie a 6. It's nothing amazing. It's okay. John Voight does a great job. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers does a great job. Leah Gibson, sometimes I was feeling it, and sometimes I was like, you're off the mark there. So, yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a great day.